Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Honey Apple Farm and another episode of Dad Days. If you're just joining us, Dad Days is the week in April wherein my father came out and helped us with some projects around our formerly abandoned farmhouse that we moved into at the end of February. So we pick up Dad Days today with finally finishing the clothesline, which we've been working on in pieces over the last 2 days. We also make a big dent on the Firewood project now that the Firewood platform is complete, and Peter gets chainsaw lessons. So let's dig in. Good morning, friends. It is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, day 5 of the Dad extravaganza. And today we're working on 2 projects. We're working on finishing the clothesline if we can, and then also moving the firewood from point A to platform A. A lot of the stuff in here needs to be further split. Like, for example, that piece right there is far too big to put in our stove, hence the firewood splitter. So it's going to be something of a project. And then this is the maple that we had them take down from our front yard. And as you can see, that has really not been split much at all. It wasn't supposed to be split. It was just them taking the tree down and leaving behind the chunks. So a lot of work to do today. I'm not sure we're going to finish the firewood adventure today, but we're going to make a good start. Dad was out here before me this morning and took down the support posts that were holding up our posts for the clothesline. So he's working on putting the cross trees on now. We're hoping that the hardware kit came with the hooks to put them on the cross pieces. If not, since it's Easter Sunday, we will have to wait until tomorrow for the hardware store to reopen and acquire those. So while he is working on that, I am going to do a couple bits of cleanup. This is the pile of metal stuff that I pulled out the other day on trash duty. And since the ground is not terribly soaked, I'm going to walk that down to the metal recycling. Oh my gosh, you guys, take a look at this. So I was sitting up near the house yesterday, and I thought, are those white flowers in bloom, or is that trash? They're flowers, and according to my plant app, that is a hyacinth. And so is the one right there. Isn't that amazing? I love hyacinths. We were just talking the other day about how we would love to grow some. I don't know what they're doing down here. This would have been right before the barn. The barn started kind of there-ish. So I don't know what they're doing down here. But they're beautiful. Hello, sweetheart. Shoop. Ba-ba-ba. One cross brace on. It's very satisfying, y'all. Don't you know that everything's on fire? 2 cross posts. Check. So here is the pulley. Here is the line. Going down and then coming back. Oops, we got a knot coming up here. Hold on. Ta-da! A clothesline. And once we buy another set of these hooks and another set of pulleys, we will have a second one going down this way. Ooh, and another tensioner as well, I imagine. This coil, you guys, was a pain in the neck. We had to stretch it out 3 times before we got it all unkinked and unknotted. So our goal when we put it back this time is for that not to happen. Look at this. It's so exciting. We have a clothesline. We have a clothesline. It is muy exciting to have a clothesline. Who would have thought this would make me so happy, you guys? But it's made me so, so happy. Now I just need to order some clothespins. When the sun came out later this afternoon, I just could not contain my excitement. I had to use the clothesline and give it its first load of laundry. the other thing I did this morning in between helping Dad to put up the clothesline was pick up all of the broken glass in here. It doesn't look like much now, and I unfortunately did not take a before shot, but I have a mountain of glass. They must have put a couple of windows here that shattered, and there were big pieces and small pieces. Quite a lot of worms actually in here as well. So how nice to walk by and no longer see a sea of glass shards. So with the clothesline all set and Peter up and about, it was time for the main act. Wood splitting! Dad, of course, has used a wood splitter before, and Peter and I have both seen them before, but never used one. So Dad was very good about giving Peter some basic wood splitting lessons. As with any new process, it takes a few iterations before you figure out what works. So once the first load was ready to take over to the Firewood platform, Peter and I focused on that, and Dad, as you can see, just kept splitting away. Having Peter's help was really helpful because my back does not seem to enjoy a whole lot of bending, so having Peter able to help by handing up the logs onto the platform was very important. We're going to see if we can get a ramp going here to make getting the gorilla cart up a little easier. And lo, a ramp has appeared. These are the boards that I pulled out on Friday that were over by the nice egg pole. They're not in great shape, but they should be in good enough shape, especially with the supports that we've put under them. So that should make life a lot easier. So we've stopped for lunch. And I'm sitting here on the Firewood platform with the beautiful sun keeping me the absolute perfect temperature and a crisp breeze coming through, listening to what I think is a robin. This is a great day. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm dirty. Yes, I have at least one splinter that has tried to stab me in the leg so far today. And when there's no traffic, I just close my eyes and listen and feel. It's about 5:30. That part of the pile is at 4 feet, which is what we wanted. And you can see we're building out the rest of it. We have made a significant dent in that pile. You can now see people above the waist who are on the other side of it. There's still quite a lot left to get through. Peter has been getting chainsaw lessons from Dad, which has been helpful because he's never handled one before. Neither have I. So hopefully Peter can learn and then teach me as needed. So this tiny little pile over here is the dried wood that I was moving while they were chainsawing earlier. And then that is all stuff from this pile. I was a little worried about that because originally I was cantilevering it out towards the back, and then we decided to make it flush with the back of the platform, and lo and behold, it all fell over. And when it fell over, by the way, I was sitting right there. So that was exciting. And of course, it's the end of the day, and the question is, do I have it in me to restack all this tonight, or do I leave it for tomorrow? And I'm going to try to do it tonight. My plan actually is to see if I can stabilize what's there and kind of maybe build out here and then go back and build up on top, because I don't want to have to move any more wood than I have to. So yeah, there I was thinking, this has gone swimmingly. We've done so well, and there's yet still so much to do. And now there's even yet more to do. So here we are, friends. End of Dad Day 5. I have restacked the wood that fell over. There's a little bit more left to do, but Dad asked me to stop and join him inside, so I will. So that's the wood pile. We have made a significant dent in the chopped down tree pile and a somewhat less significant but still noticeable dent. So right out there where the ground is a little bit darker, I have moved, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 cartloads, not a whole lot compared to what's over there. What we're trying to do with this one now is some of these pieces up here in front are really too big for us to put in our wood stove as they are, so it would be great to run them through the splitter and split them into smaller pieces. But to do that, one has to go through the pile, right, and pull off the ones that are already right-sized and then pull out the ones that are not. So it'll be a busy day tomorrow. Dad's only here for 2 more days, and we have a couple other projects on the list. One of them is to put insulation in the basement walkout ceiling / the kitchen floor, and the other one is to see if we can do something about this door, at least get the screen door swatched out for actual glass. So it's going to be a busy couple of days, and there will probably be some things that we don't quite finish, but we will see how far we can get. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. It is an absolutely crisp, lovely evening. So I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much for being part of this Dad Days adventure, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Dad Days video. Bye for now.